the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made.
In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind.
The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it.
The true light that gives light to everyone was coming into the world.
He was in the world, and though the world was made through him, the world did not recognize him.
He came unto his own, and his own received him not.
But as many as received him, to them he gave the right to be called children of God, even to those who believe in his name.
The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son, who came from the Father, full of grace and truth.
No one has ever seen God, but the one and only Son, who is himself God and is in closest relationship with the Father, has made him known.
Hey everybody, welcome to Midweek Online. It is Wednesday, May the 6th. I'm here with my best friend. This is Heather, and I've got two other people with me as well. So we got Tamara, who's right here. And we got Ben. Let him say hi as well.
Hello.
So they are a part of something we're doing tonight for the first time that we're going to do all of the month of May, and that is Senior Honors Night. So we're going to take our class of 2020 students, and we're going to grab 2 or 3 at a time and just spend some time online asking them some questions and just kind of honoring them, but also celebrating this graduation time with them. And as we all know, graduation is a little bit different right now for our seniors because of the coronavirus and everything that's happened with that. And so we thought it'd be fun to just maybe spend some time welcoming them, honoring them, celebrating with them, and we hope it'll be really fun for everybody. So it'll give you a chance to know everybody a little better, our seniors, and also just a chance to celebrate them as well. So, all right, is that good enough?
Yep.
Okay, so I've got some questions for each of you. So for Ben and for Tamara, and Tamara, we'll let you go first. Tell everybody where you're graduating from and what maybe some future plans are going to be for you.
I'm graduating from A&M Consolidated High School, and after I graduate, my plan is to go to Blinn College and to start nursing.
Very cool. Okay, and nursing stuff, do you have a certain field you want to nurse in or a certain age group or anything like that, or is it just whatever?
I want to work with kids, but I'm not sure exactly what I want to do yet. I'm still thinking about it.
Okay, cool. Well, one thing, kids don't like needles, so just remember that as you go into nursing and spend time with
Neither
them.
do I.
Yeah, most people don't either. All right, Ben, tell us about you. Where are you graduating from and what your future stuff is?
All right. I am graduating from Core Education School, and my future plans are to ACU and major in business management.
All right, that's cool. So business management, any kind of idea what business that might be one day or that you want to manage, or just something?
Just kind of a baseline. Oh, because there's not like an overarching just business degree at ACU. And so there's just the like subset business degrees. And so I just kind of picked one that sounded pretty general in business. So business management is what I went with.
That's cool. Okay, well, if you somehow would connect your career with Tamara's and it's something about, needles for kids or something like that don't hurt, you can manage that, that'd be great. So, yeah, very cool.
Gold needles.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so Tamara, you have gone to our church for almost as long as I can remember. I can't remember exactly when you came. I think it was maybe 5th or 6th grade. You may know differently.
I think it was like 7th grade.
Okay, I definitely remember 7th grade and you being there because I remember one of the first times that I remember, I don't know if you remember this or not, but a middle school mission trip to Waco and going, and you went to Rappaport with us and that was really one of the first times I think I and Heather got to know you well. And we want both of you to know just obviously how much you're loved by our church and how much we so appreciate the opportunity God's given us to get to know you and get to kind of walk through middle school and high school with both of you. Y'all are both just awesome people, and we love you both a lot, and so many people do. So, okay, so Tamara, tell us, do you have a certain memory that just kind of sticks out to you from growing up at our church or spending time here or youth group stuff?
Well, it's like the memory, it's like makes me laugh. It was whenever Ben had climbed the tower with one leg.
Yeah, that
That
was good.
So that's
That
really
was-
one. Like whenever I was like younger, I don't really remember like anything that was like really funny or anything, but that like really stuck out to me. Like seeing Ben do that and everyone being shocked by it, it was funny.
Yeah, that was good. I remember some things. I don't know if you remember some things for you and your sister Tamara, just celebrating birthdays at summer camp and
Oh yeah,
that kind of thing. Those have been fun memories for me through the years of getting to do that.
I think it's fun because you and Tia are obviously together quite often. And it's fun to finally, for our family, but also for everybody, to kind of see you as individuals. And for, you know, those 7th grade years and 8th grade years, it was always kind of like Tia and Tamara, Tia and Tamara, Tia and Tamara. And now they see you and they see Tia. And so that's really fun. Just seeing some individuality there when you've had your sister who looks identical to you. And anyway, that's fun to me.
yeah, like celebrating our birthdays and everything. Tony's birthday was like July 1st, so his birthday and then our birthday, it was fun.
That is fun.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, Ben, what you got? What's a memory that you have kind of sticks out to you of growing up at church?
Well, an unfortunate memory is me pulling Rebecca off the slide
Oh,
at
yeah.
a Powder Puff game in 2nd grade, I think, when she
Yeah.
broke her arm. And so along with that, and more funny memory, was all the Powder Puff games before, I guess, the new wave, new different generation of Powder Puff people came. Like the last generation of Powder Puff people, like Jordan Gilletto, Jack Gilletto, I guess who else? Jonathan Bradford, all those people who just went all out in the cheerleading attire, if you will. And I don't know, I don't know how many people are gonna like remember, but it's very funny.
That's fun.
Yeah, so true. Those were funny times, and a little bit too much cross dressing maybe happening during those times.
Yeah,
but definitely memories of that. Yeah, I just throw one out to both of you. Do either one of you know anything about plungers? Maybe can they stick to ceilings or not? Does that ring a bell for either one? Sorry, no, that was a
I
bit.
think they do.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was me.
Big story there. We'll share it sometime. That was quite fun. And good
Clean
stuff.
plungers.
Clean plungers, yeah, not dirty plungers. Thank goodness.
Yes.
That would be much worse. Okay, so tell me about maybe what has helped you. We'll do Tamara again first, and Ben. What's helped you to grow in your faith in middle school and in high school? What's helped you to kind of grow closer to God?
Honestly, I could say it's like going to like the summer camps and retreats and stuff, getting time like throughout, you know, the weekend and everything to sit down and to actually learn more about God and everything, helped me grow more in my faith, because the church that I was going to before, it was some similar kind of like a little bit, but I stopped going to that church because they had like a really bad wreck or whatever. They like stopped coming to get us. And then I was like, okay, well now it's time to find a new church. And then we ended up going to Hype, and then we met the Burrows, and then we started going to church with y'all. And I could say it's like the youth group retreats and summer camps, and I don't know why it's a fire there. It's the youth group and summer camps and stuff like that that had made me grow closer in my faith. And really the camp that really stuck out was Uplift. So that's one of the camps the most. I really wish we could have that this summer, because that's where like all my faith and everything like just grows closer to God and everything. So yeah.
That's very cool. Okay, so some of the big event kind of things and camps and going away, bus rides and spending time kind of focusing on God, that was good for you. Okay, Ben, what about you? What's been good for you helping you grow in faith?
I think just the community of like youth group, because that's one thing that's been really hard since like quarantine, is that church, it's still church and it's still getting time in the word, getting time to worship, but it's not nearly the same, just because I don't have all the different voices worshiping with me. I mean, I have the voices that I've heard all my life, like my family, but it's not the same as hearing your friends and your peers worship. And so that's an incredible part of my faith journey, is like hearing hearing everybody worship together as a youth group, and hearing, you know, people answering questions, and sharing their opinions and their views on faith. And so that has really helped shape me.
Yeah, very cool. That's good. Well, and both those things are things that have we don't have those right now. The community looks different. The summer camp thing we think is going to look very different. And so, or events or retreats or whatever, we're not sure really when everything starts to get to come back and look a little bit more normal. But it's really cool that those two things, that God has placed those in your lives and to help you kind of grow in faith and what they've been a part of your life. And now you can use those, and when things look a little bit different, you can continue growing in faith just in different ways now. And that's really cool. Okay, so let's pretend you get a moment on camera with a bunch of middle school and high school students watching to say to them just a word of encouragement or something, some piece of advice that you'd give them. What's some advice that you'd give to them, you'd just say, as far as their relationship with God or church or something like that?
We'll let Sarah go first.
Yeah.
I would say to always keep God first throughout relationships, throughout school, throughout friendships and everything, just to keep God first, because if you don't keep God first throughout that, then things aren't going to turn out the way that you want them to be. And another thing that I was going to say is, like, youth group, like friendships and everything are way better than, like, to keep your youth group friendships first, and like always know that you are always going to have those church friends there no matter what. Even if people from school or not even people in school turn their backs on you, like, your youth group friends is what matter the most, and they're going to always be there for you no matter what.
Yeah, definitely hope so. That's good. All right, Ben, what would you say?
I would say to make sure to remember to make good memories. Like, some of my favorite memories of youth group is like the times when we were just messing around, the times when we were up late talking about, you know, who knows what. Yes, opposed to Monty's constant go to sleeps, but they were still fun memories. And like on the last night of Uplift my freshman year, just like Granger, Cynthia Ko, and Caleb and Adam Lestraps, and we were just hanging around, just messing around like till 4 a.m. It was so much fun, and we just made so many memories. And it was a lot of fun, and that's one of the big things in youth group is having fun with the people that you worship with, and having fun with the people you have community with. And I think that a lot of the importance of helping your faith along is having fun with the people that help you move your faith along. And so I think that's a very important thing to remember.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Well, and both of you had a great chance to do those things. You've gotten to have the fun. You've gotten to spend time with the people. You've gotten to make the memories. You've gotten to grow close to friends that are at church, and you've seen as some of those can go, you know, really good, and some of them don't always go as good as you would hope they would. But y'all had the chance to be on the bus rides with us, and the late nights talking, and retreats, and being around a campfire, and also just the simple week-to-week stuff of coming to church and being there on a Wednesday night and watching everybody come in and saying hi, and coming back on a Sunday morning or a Sunday evening, and all those things. I hope those are all really good memories for you, and things that also, as you're mentioning those things and sharing those with younger kids and advice, the memories of you two being there with us and some of those things just keep sticking out to me, and it's really cool to think about. So, okay, one final question, and then we will kind of wrap up. And the question is this: what's a favorite Bible verse you have that you would like to share with everyone right now?
Am I going first?
We'll let you go first, Tamara.
I'll say my favorite Bible verse will be Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And the reason why I say this is because, you know, I'm like, Mom, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to major in this or whatever. And she's like, just remember, like, you know, the verse Philippians 13, you can do all things through Christ who gives you strength. And really, it was really like challenging, like during high school and stuff, not thinking that I could do like certain things and everything. But I just always remember that verse. It is always like makes me remember that I could do all things in Christ. And as long as I keep God first, I could do anything. And people say, oh, you know, you won't be able to do this. You're not going to be able to do that. That's hard and everything. But as long as I have God on my side, I could do it. So.
Very cool. That's a great one. Yep. All right, Ben, what about you?
All right, mine, I found it in middle school, and it was one of those things where I was like, you know, I'm just going to kind of open my Bible and see where I'm going to point on a random page and see what happens. And it was Nehemiah 9:31. I've done this as a Bible verse a couple of times, but but in your great mercy, you did not put an end to them or abandon them, for you are a gracious and merciful God. And it's talking about the wall, or Nehemiah's wall that he was rebuilding, and how God never left his side. And that's a great encouragement to me, because no matter like how far I stray off from his path, or no matter how many mistakes I make, he's not gonna leave my side, because he's a gracious and merciful God. And so that's a really interesting thing that I found, you know, just randomly by chance, I guess you could say. But yeah, I've had that just kind of in my brain ever since middle school, just kind of in the back of my head.
It's great. Very, very cool. And, you know, so much of Nehemiah is so good. Yeah. Well, and it's neat that for each of you, the verses that you shared out of Nehemiah, out of Philippians, have that special meaning and some great biblical truth there for you. And so I'm thankful for that. Okay, so I want to say thanks for you two being our very first seniors that we honor for senior honors, and glad that we can be a part of this, and glad that you can do this with us. We are going to say bye to you guys in just a second, and for everybody else, stick around, because we are going to move into our teaching video for the night. And tonight's teaching video is again called, it's about when light meets darkness. And it's about when the light of God meets the darkness of evil in this world, and evil that Satan brings about, and what happens in those times. And tonight is about a guy who was chained up that Jesus met on the shores of a lake. And this guy lived in a cemetery, and he was crazy. And yet it wasn't he that was crazy. It was the demons inside of him. And so I want you to listen to this in just a moment and think about, what does God have for you in this story? What can we learn about the Lord from this story? And what situation may you be finding yourself in right now? You're just like, God, I just want out of this. This is hard. This is too difficult. A family situation, maybe a school situation. It may be anything else in life that's going on. And God is the one that can rescue you from that, as he did this guy in the story that we're going to watch right now. So Heather and I will be back on the other side of this, and we will spend time with you then. And for Ben and Tamara, thank you for joining us, and thanks for being a part of this. And again, we love you guys. We're so excited for you. Happy senior year. Graduation is coming soon, and we look forward to celebrating that with you guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Welcome.
All right, great. We'll see you later. Everybody else stick around, and here comes the video.
How many of you have ever been in a situation that while you were in the situation, you could not wait to get out of it? Raise your hand. You were in a situation and you couldn't wait to get out of it. Well, I remember a few years back, I found myself in a situation, and while I was in it, all I wanted was to be set free from it. So a few years back, I was flying from Chicago to Nashville, Tennessee, where my Hendersonville people at. But I was flying by myself, and then all of a sudden, we fly into this storm. I mean, this is a really bad storm. It's raining right now. It was a million times worse than right now. How many of you have flown before? Raise your hand if you've ever flown before. Okay, so you know, like, when you hit some turbulence, occasionally the plane will sort of dip a little, it'll drop a little bit. Well, at this point, that sort of happened, but the plane kept falling. It just kept like plummeting. And I started hearing people like shudder and things like that. And I'm like starting to grip my chair a little tighter. So I'm starting to freak out now, but then it gets even worse. At one point in this storm, you know, like instead of a plane turning so soft and gently, it sort of like tips 90 degrees and the luggage up top like starts to shift and stuff like that. People are now screaming. Babies are screaming, I'm screaming. So it was a horrible experience. I'm freaking out. And all I remember is I cannot wait to get out of this airplane. Obviously, I'm still here. We landed safely. The door flung open, and I just could not wait to get out of that death trap. Ever since that experience, I've been an incredibly nervous flyer because I realized something, that while I was sitting in that airplane in that chair, I had no control of what happened. Like I was completely out of control. And some of you might be able to relate to that today. You're sitting in your chair, just like I was sitting in that chair in the airplane. You're sitting in your chair, realizing that there's something going on in your life where you feel like you're out of control of that situation. And all you want to do is to be set free from it. Maybe for you, it's your family situation. Your family situation feels out of control and you wish something could be different, or you wish your family could be set free from that. Or maybe for you, it's a bad relationship or something's gone wrong in your friendship. Others of you feel out of control of something going on inside. You're dealing with sadness or anxiety or stress or depression, and you feel out of control and you just want to be set free from that. Well, today we're gonna hear about a story of a guy who's in a terrible situation in his life. He's completely out of control. All he wants is to be set free. We're gonna see this story in Mark chapter 5, starting with verse 2. And this is what it says. It says, when Jesus got out of the boat, a man with an impure spirit came from the tomb to meet him. This man lived in the tombs, and no one could bind him anymore, not even with a chain, for he had often been chained hand and foot. But he tore the chains apart and broke the irons on his feet. No one was strong enough to subdue him. Here, right here.
In there, I'll show you.
So I wanted to see how easy it is to maybe break out of chains. If this guy could do it, maybe I can. So let's see. I don't think I'm getting out of these. Does somebody have a key? No? So we saw that this man could not be contained by any chains. Well, we're here at this prison, and I've been assured that nobody has escaped this place, but this is where people go. They get locked up. They spend days and nights in this place. And their only hope is that one day, maybe they'll get out of here, be set free, and get on to a brand new life. So no human power could control this man. But then the verse goes on, and this is what it says. It says, night and day among the tombs and in the hills, he would cry out and cut himself with stones. He's cutting himself. You see, this guy is in pain. He's in agony. He wants to be set free from his circumstances and situations. And so he cuts himself. And we see this happen with people your age today. They're hurting, they're in pain, and they cut themselves. Other people, they try and escape their pain by getting into bad relationships. And even other people, some of you escape whatever you're going through by going up, locking yourself in your room, watching TV, going online, or just losing yourself in social media. Well, the story is about to take a turn for the better. Look at what it says in verse 6. It says this: when he saw Jesus from a distance, he ran and he fell on his knees in front of him. This guy runs to Jesus and falls down on his knees in front of him. I mean, just a second ago, he's running around breaking chains, like kind of mocking people. And then Jesus shows up on the scene and he runs and falls on his knees. Now that's a sign of surrender. Like back in the old days when there was a king and a queen, people would kneel down and bow down before the king or queen to show as a sign of respect or honor. Or if there was an army, they would surrender by kneeling down before their enemies or opponents as a sign of surrender. So we see that this guy is kneeling down in honor, respect, and surrender to Jesus. So the story that we're hearing about is pretty crazy, isn't it? I mean, it's the story of a demon-possessed man who's breaking chains. Like, it's pretty wild, isn't it? But there's a few things that we can take from the story. There's a few things that we can know. And the first one is this: God is in control. God is in control of it all. No matter what circumstances, whatever situations or scenario you find yourself in, God's in control. Whatever you're struggling with, God is in control of that situation. Now, you may not need to literally physically like bow down and surrender like this guy did, but maybe for you, whatever that situation that's going on in your life, you need to surrender that over to God and give it to him and know that he's in control and trust him with it. All right, now check this out. In verse 7, it says this, he shouted at the top of his voice, "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? In God's name, don't torture me before my appointed time." So this brings us to our second point. God always wins. So number one, God is in control. And number two, God always wins. This is a really interesting passage here. The demons know that in the end, they lose. And so he's basically asking Jesus, like, not yet, please don't torture me before my appointed time. I know in the end we lose, but not yet. Here's a great way to paint this picture. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about something that you're good at, like a sport or a hobby or music or something like that. Now, here's what I want you to do. Turn to the person next to you really quick and tell them what that one thing is. Okay, go ahead and do that really quick, really quick. All right, everybody come on back forward here. Okay, so now here's what I want you to think about. That thing that you said, I want you to think about the person who's a professional, who's the best at that thing that you can name. So like if you're a basketball player, it's either LeBron James or Steph Curry, or maybe you play soccer, it'd be like Ali Morgan, or maybe you play the cello, for you, it's Yo-Yo Ma. I had to Google that. Now here's the thing, I want you to pretend and picture for a moment that you get the opportunity to compete against that professional in that thing that you're good at. Like if you're playing basketball, you're playing against LeBron James or Steph Curry. Now here's the thing about that, I promise you, no matter how good you are, you will lose. But I know that you're gonna go out and give everything you have to do the best that you can, but everybody knows you're gonna lose. Nobody's gonna put their money on you. I know it's hard to take for some of you, you think you're really good at it. But that's basically what's happening in this story. You see, the demons, they know that in the end, that evil loses, but they're going, we're gonna give it everything we got right now until the end comes. You see, we know the end of this story. God always wins. Evil doesn't win, pain doesn't win, your tough or hard circumstances don't win if you give them over to God and let him be in control. In the end, he wins. And through that, you can win over those circumstances and those situations in your life. Well, the story goes on. Look at what it says in verse 8. For Jesus had said to him, "Come out of this man, you impure spirit." Then Jesus asks him, "What is your name?" "My name is Legion," he replied, "for we are many." Now, here's the thing. This guy isn't saying like, "Hi, my name's Legion, nice to meet you, Jesus." Like, that's not his name. A legion is a mass group of people often associated with an army. So basically what he's saying, he's trying to intimidate Jesus here. He's saying like, we are Legion. I am strong. There's many of us in here. We're united, we're powerful. You better watch out. But as we're about to see, Jesus simply overpowers him. So number one, God is in control. Number two, God always wins. And number three, God's power is greater. Check out this last part of the story. It says, and he begged Jesus again and again not to send them out of the area. A large herd of pigs was feeding on the nearby hillside. The demons begged Jesus, "Send us among the pigs, allow us to go into them." He gave them permission, and the impure spirits came out and went into the pigs. Then a herd about 2,000 in number rushed down the steep banks into the lake, and they were drowned. This man is possessed by all these demons. He doesn't have control of his own life. He's in pain and agony, and then with a few words, Jesus frees him. Jesus completely frees him from his situation because God's power is greater than his current situation. You see, God's power is greater than your current situation. There are things in your life that are gonna tempt you. That's called spiritual attack. Others of you, there are gonna be some sins that you're gonna struggle with. That's called spiritual warfare. Some of you have some things going on in your life right now that are tough or some hard circumstances or situations, and you need to give those over to God and let him be in control because he can and he will set you free from those things. Maybe for some of you, it's you keep messing around with your boyfriend or girlfriend and you know it's not right, and so you wanna stop, but you find yourself still doing it. Maybe you've been abused physically or sexually or emotionally, Others of you, you get picked on at school and you feel completely out of control there. And others of you, you have an addiction in your life that's controlling. Maybe it's drugs or alcohol or even overeating. Maybe you have been labeled something because of something you did in your past and you just can't seem to be set free from that label. Maybe you didn't make the team, or you had a falling out with a friend, or things are just crazy in your family situation. Maybe some of you, there's things inside that you feel like you are out of control. Maybe it's depression or sadness or anxiety or stress or worry. What is it for you? So here's what I want you to do right now. I want you to name that thing in your life. Not out loud, get it in your head though, but name that thing to yourself. What circumstance or situation or trial do you have going on in your life right now where you know that you need God to help set you free from that thing? Think of that one thing. Now that you've got that thing in here, now that you've named the thing that you need God to set you free from, I want you to hear this verse because I think it's one of the most powerful verses in the Bible. Jesus says in John 16:33, "In this world, you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world." Just like Jesus overcame the demon in the story today, he's also overcome the world. He is all powerful. He's in control and he has won. So whatever troubles you have in your life, know that God is bigger than those troubles. Whatever struggles you have going on in your life, Jesus has overcome those struggles for you. No matter what you're struggling with in life, know that through Jesus, you can overcome those things. Whatever hard situation you find yourself in, know that God can free you from those things. So whatever that thing is for you, now that you've named it, I want you to give that over to God and know that He's in control of it. The truth is, in this world, you're gonna have troubles. You're gonna have struggles, bad days, bad grades, breakups, depression, sadness, crazy families, bad situations with your friends. But if Jesus overcame the world, then He can overcome whatever that thing is for you.
Okay, that was great to see, and we are back this time, just us. And I hope that of all the things that he just talked about in that video, I hope that there's some things that really just kind of resonated with you and that stuck with you. And again, that's quite a strange story. And yet, you know, the story about Jesus, when he's talking about the shepherd would leave the 99 sheep to go find the one lost sheep. Y'all, that's a time when Jesus went to find the one. And he lived it out in his own life of going to rescue this guy because he went across the lake to him. And that's the reason he went across the lake, because he loved the guy and he cared about him. And he knew that that guy was facing a struggle that was so strong. And you may feel the same way. You may be facing a battle in your own life, and it may be a battle that you feel like you're never going to get past, or maybe it's a new battle that you've never experienced before, and you're trying to figure out how to do that. And the one thing I want to tell you is that with all of the stuff that you may be going through, whether it's good times or bad times right now, whether it's struggles or no struggles, that God is the one to look to through all those things. And it's easy to say, hey, God's going to take care of this and fix this and whatever. That doesn't mean necessarily that things are going to get easy, but it does mean that God is faithful in that, and God has a plan for your life in that, and He will walk through that with you. And the really cool thing about it is that the same one that rescued this guy in the story that we just heard about is the same one that rescues you. He was the one that came to this earth, who lived and who died, who was crucified on a cross for your sins and mine, but then he didn't stay dead. He came back to life, and he's alive today. When he went to heaven, he didn't go to heaven the same way everybody else does. He just went up into the sky, and he is there now. And he's alive today. You can have a relationship with him, and you can know him. And so, it's different because we're not at school. The things of our life have been changed so much. And yet God is so present in our lives right now, and He is so available to you, and He is so walking with you daily. And Jesus Christ continues to be the only answer, to be Lord of your life, and to be the answer for what this life really is all about. And so even though we don't have church right now, even though we don't have school right now, we've all got God, and we want you to know that you can walk with him daily. Want you to do that. So grow on your own, and we've got a few ways to do that. And so one of the ways, obviously, has been our videos that we've been helping each week and trying to share just biblical content with you and some Bible stuff. But a second and a really big way to grow on your own is the Devo books, the Belief Plus Life books that we sent out. And so hopefully you've got that. If you haven't started, we want you to start. It's about 10 minutes a day, maybe 15 if you want to go longer. And you can take longer or shorter if you want to. But a way that every day you can spend time just focused on God. It's all through the book of John, an incredible book, incredible writings about a guy who was there with Jesus when Jesus was alive on this earth. He was an eyewitness to who Jesus was and of all the things that he did. And he's going to show you the things that he saw. And we think that gives you so much reason to believe in this man called Jesus, who really was the Son of God that came to this earth.
Yeah. And what a blessing it is to actually have some time, just you and him. And you can make it for what you want it to make it, Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's about it for tonight.
That's right. We want to thank very much Tamara and Ben for joining us, and that was fun. We are hoping to kind of highlight 2 or 3 every week, and this is just the start of several. So we're excited for them.
Yeah. So all month long, whether it be on Sunday nights or Wednesday nights, our seniors, we hope they will be with us. We'll keep inviting and being a part of that. And we'll try to put together based on their schedule and our schedule to where you can see them, and we'll celebrate this with them, this graduation class of 2020.
Yay!
And so very cool stuff. Proud of all of them, love all of them, and very excited. Okay, so that's it for tonight. You're going to get some questions via text in a little bit. You're going to get an invite to Zoom if you haven't gotten it already, and Zoom's going to be a little bit shorter tonight, and we have an announcement or a few announcements that we just want to share with you on Zoom, and so we'll do that. Let everybody say hi to each other and share a few quick words with you, and then we'll be off of that, and that is it for tonight. So, all right, we love you guys. We miss you. We miss you. We miss you. We can't wait until the time that we all get to be back together, and we're looking forward to that time whenever it comes. Until then, know that you're loved. Know that God loves you. Most important thing you can know is God loves you. Most important thing you can do is to love him back. So I encourage you to do that this week. All right, that's it. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.